Update, my pregnant wife said our firstborn would go to her late ex-boyfriend's family, because she promised them kids, and claimed that since she's the mother I can't stop her, so I told her to repeat that at court. Guess who confidently lost 100% of the custody? I screamed at her for tricking me and not revealing such vital information regarding me and my life. That's when she started crying, saying horrible things about her, saying that I was making her cry, and she claimed that the kid was hers. She was going to give birth to it, and so she was the one who would decide, not me. This only made me more angry. I kept screaming at her. I mean, I know I shouldn't have screamed at her. I should have been calm and laid out my thoughts and feelings, but I had never even thought about being in such a situation before. Who can be in such a situation and not be irate? However, Rose told me to not talk to her anymore if I can't be calm and understanding. I was so mad at her.
My question is, how you even get that far into a relationship with somebody and not know they were selfish? I don't even know what's gonna happen next, but it already sounds like she's selfish, bro. How you get that far in? It's like, it's crazy. It's not fucked up to hear, but it's crazy to hear somebody get so far into loving somebody, then realize that, damn, I put all that time and effort in for damn near nothing. For real, because your thought wasn't a thought. Like, your thought wasn't a thought at all.
At her that I stormed out of the house, completely slamming the door so hard behind me. I did not care if it startled her. I didn't care if it made her cry harder. I don't care about whatever the hell she felt about my reaction. My reaction was valid, because how can someone think that it's okay to give off their firstborn to someone else without their parents' consent? And you know what? She acted nonchalant as well, like I was the one overreacting. I don't even know how to ask for advice in such a situation. I mean, what does a person even ask? How do I stop my spouse from giving up our child just because she promised someone her firstborn kid? But according to her, oh well, I didn't know she was trying to have a baby, so I have no rights over it. Update number 1. Hello everyone, it's Winston. I did read through your comments
and she tricked you? Like, so y'all was, matter of fact, I'm leading with this story gotta be fake, cause how she trick you? It's like, how she trick you, my boy? If you in there and you know, we gonna listen.
So I thought that getting my in-laws to intervene and talk to Rose might be the best course of action. I spent the last 2 weeks in the guest room, not wishing to even look at Rose, and she has been pretending like nothing is wrong between us. I've mostly stayed out of the house even on the weekends, not wishing to scream at my pregnant wife who's apparently carrying my baby for someone else without my consent. I called my in-laws and told them that there was an urgent matter I needed them to discuss with Rose, but told them to be discreet about it until they got there. They live a bit further away from us and told me that they would love for me to come over for dinner by the end of the month. I just had to get through the few days in between until then, you know, knock some sense into their daughter's head. So they did come over tonight, and while Rose was busy in the kitchen, I got her mom Meredith and father James to come talk to me in private. I told my in-laws everything, and by their reactions, they've been unaware of this little promise between Rose and Elliot's parents as well. Update, my pregnant wife said our firstborn would go to her late ex-boyfriend's family. They looked horrified enough to make me believe that they thought that their daughter was being completely unreasonable. That's when Rose interrupted and asked us what we were discussing. Meredith asked her what the issue with the baby was, and Rose did not like that I revealed her pregnancy to her parents, which yeah, that's valid, but at the same time necessary if I ever wanted to keep my own kid. She pointed her finger at me and yelled at me for being a horrible husband if he thought it would be better to tell everyone behind her back without her consent. Well, that made me angry, but I kept my temper.
It's only getting worse. Yeah, it's only getting worse. Like, she's selfish, my boy. Ain't no win for losing with this person. I would say seek therapy, but you too far gone to get a good person to come back towards you. She would have to start over with somebody new, because it's either you won't forgive that, because that'll be something looming over your relationship, or she won't forgive herself for being that type of person towards somebody she shouldn't have. But that's me reaching a little bit.
Temper in charge as I asked if it's horrible is when she decides to give my child away to someone else behind my back without my consent. At that point, Rose starts to cry and tells me that I need to be understanding. She held my hands, and I tried to be patient with her to hear her out. She stated that she and Elliot had so many plans that they were supposed to have lots and lots of children. Elliot's parents were supposed to be grandparents, but now that Elliot's gone, that cannot happen.
And she's still in love with her ex? Yeah, nah, that she didn't. She wasn't thinking when she got into a relationship with you, my boy. She was in a state of somebody come make me feel better, and you was that person that made her feel better. And now that it's I don't even know what it is after that point. I just know you made her feel better for the time, and now she wants to continue a life she can't have, technically.
She just wishes to make his parents happy by giving them a grandkid. Meredith and James interjected, and they were much calmer than I was the first time me and Rose had this conversation. They tried to make her understand that this was my child as well. She could not just make such a decision without my consent. However, Rose kept on saying that I was not even planning on having a kid, so it doesn't matter. James tried to make her understand that if Rose had been unplanned, he would have still loved her and wished to raise her. Just because it was unplanned does mean I would not have any feelings regarding the kid. He was way calmer about it than I could have ever been. So Rose just keeps on backtracking right and starts screaming that we're crowding her and that none of us had the right to decide what she did with her own body. That's when she ran back into our bedroom, locking the door behind her, and that's it. I'm taking this to court now. Update number 2. Hello guys, this is Winston. I know I said in my last update that I would take Rose to court, but I could not do it so far. It's been about 2 months, and now we even know the gender of the baby, and I just can't do such a thing to my wife. Loving her at the moment's hard, but I did love her when she was so unreasonable. So I decided to talk to her first. I tried to be calm and not crowd her like she felt the last 2 times. I was ready to do anything for my baby girl. I wished to see my daughter grow up in a loving family. I didn't want to cause any trouble between us. I sat Rose down after the ultrasound where—
Yeah, I don't know what you thought you was doing, but you wasn't doing all those things you said you was, my boy. Because if you really thought that way, you would have knew beforehand. Like, you already said she was unreasonable. If she's unreasonable in some ways, that means she's really unreasonable in other ways. And you didn't even take the time to figure out how unreasonable she could be, and now you have to live with this problem.
she had been reluctant to take my appointments, and I think she wanted Elliot's parents with her, but I forcefully tagged along. I sat her down on the couch and told her I wanted to raise my daughter. Rose said that we could always have another daughter, and I said that I would always know that there was a girl living somewhere else who was mine, and I could not even imagine living without her. Rose calmly told me that I was being selfish. There was someone who lost his son, and at least I could do was not oppose her while she was trying to make them happy. Guys, I was starting to get angry, but I kept it reined in. I wanted to have a productive conversation, and anger usually does not let that happen. I told her that if that were the case, Elliot's parents could just adopt a child. We didn't have to be the ones who gave them our kid. And I tried to reassure her that I understood her wish to make them happy, but it doesn't have to be us who has to sacrifice. She claimed that it was not a sacrifice, and I said that it was a sacrifice on my part if not her. She promised that if I'm so eager, we can just start planning to have a baby of our own after this one's born. I sighed and told her that she was being unreasonable. Her nose scrunched up in annoyance, and she told me that I could not tell her what she did with her body. She had all the right to make this decision, and she would not budge. She claimed that she's the mother of this child and I can't stop her. I had had enough.
Man, it legitimately sounding like even if you succeed with not allowing this kid to be yours, she may just go get pregnant by somebody else, rub it in your face, not saying she would or wouldn't, but rub it in your face while giving that child away to those people. This definitely has the realm of that happening in it. But it's, that's crazy to think that your body, your choice will go as you get in a relationship with, probably even married, and then your body, his semen or whatever the hell you want to call it, well it is that, but you know what I mean. But it's still your choice on this whole scenario. And this is how some people get information and use it the wrong way.
Enough and told her to repeat that at court because that's where I will meet her next. She tried to talk to me as I packed my bags, but I drowned her out. She was just accusing me of being a bad person. I could not take her any longer, and if I had to fight for my daughter against my wife, I will. I mean, I was beyond mad, so I didn't want to talk to Rose at all. I know a mother should not be in stressful situations while carrying her own baby, but I can't make this situation less stressful for her. However, it's hard as I try. I'm currently at my parents' house, and I don't even know how to reveal the situation to them. However, I've reached out to a lawyer, and I'm so confused and full of emotions at this moment.
I'm sorry to say, my boy, but sometimes we got to live with the choices we make. I'm kind of proof of that. I gotta live with the choices I make. Not to say that y'all know the choices, but you know, you gotta live with the choices you make. Now this is your learning experience to know if the next one starts acting anything like her. Yeah, no, you don't want to have a kid with that. I don't know what that type of person is, and I don't know what they do with life, but they fucking some shit up. No questions about it. Her body, her choice.